The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music and the industry, and all other aspects related to rock and heavy metal. What the fuck are you doing, Simon?
It's mouthing the words along with you. Come on.
Oh, you're a bit slow. You're a bit behind me.
Is that a comment on my IQ or?
This is our part 2 of surviving the weekend at Download Festival with tips and tricks and life hacks. I am Adam, and as always, I am here with Simon. How are you doing, my man?
Hello, sir. Good day to you. Great to be back. Great to be invited back on this show that you and Stu do. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to being a part of it.
Excellent. Yeah, I got that. I think I messed up so much at the beginning of the last one, I just ended up getting it the wrong way around. Not that it made any difference, but it did to Simon apparently. So I made sure I got it the right way around this time, so Simon doesn't flip.
I liked it. I liked
Anyway.
that. I like that reversal. I like that I was left till last because yeah,
Okay.
it was nice.
Well, we'll come back to you after then.
Okay.
I don't know. You messed me up. And so you can probably gather we are yet again joined by our boy Stu. How are you doing?
Hello, thank you for having me back. I was under the impression that I was well in there. I've been changing all my branding to Dear Download and Stu underscore Dear Download on Instagram and everything. So this
Fine
is
by
news
us.
to me.
It's fine by us, if I'm honest. Get the word out there a bit more. Yeah, I don't mind that.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from that. How are you both doing? It's only been like, 6 days since we last spoke. So, anything new?
No.
No. Both shifty eyes. No idea what to say.
No.
Well, yes. So this was kind of, we should have expected it, this episode. We should have expected to not be able to get everything in the one episode, last episode. So yeah, this is a carry on from, or carry over, a follow on. I don't know which way is the best way to put that. From our last episode, because we didn't get to talk about anywhere near as much as we were expecting to. There was so much more we wanted to talk about, but we didn't want to try and rush it and fit it into the one episode. So we split it into two. And I guess we just get going then. Should we?
Let's go for it. Let's jump straight
Go
in.
for it.
Yeah,
Jump
man.
straight into the deep end. Let's do it.
Excellent. Okay. So I can't even remember what we finished on last time. What was the last thing we were talking about? I don't remember.
What was the last thing in your notes? Because that would have been the
Good
last
question.
thing that we would have talked about. There would have been one that we finished on, right? What did
Did
we,
the
what
campsite.
did we finish on? Did we
just
do
what- I think,
campsites?
yeah, was it?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure we
I talked about all the different types of campsites.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Said about RIP,
Yeah.
but we can't really go in too much into RIP. So I think one of the last things we were talking about in the last episode was about campsites, all the different ones that you can go into. We talked about getting your stuff to the campsite, but we didn't really talk too much about the camping aspect of it. Did we? Not
No, I
too
don't
much.
think so.
That's probably
No.
good. Yeah, it's probably a good place to start. So one of my biggest tips, I would say, is you don't need to bring a mallet because Simon Bond is a good friend and a very nice bloke, and he will lend his mallet to anyone and everyone.
Did I manage to keep the ban last year on people using it, or did I let people use it?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that.
I know you were very protective
Yeah,
of
I'm
it.
pretty sure that the
Yeah.
ban was fully in place at that point, and I remember Alex Perkins giving everyone his mallet instead. So the ban's still on this year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It is like great granddad's mallet. It's had 33 handles and 14 heads, but it's still the original.
It's good.
It's still more original than Linkin Park.
Wow!
Hey. No,
I didn't expect to have shots fired like that from Adam Cox. Come on.
I don't mean that.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. It's
I knew someone would enjoy that.
it only hurts.
I had to
you're
pop at
poisoning him.
so
only
I hope
hurts
them-
because it's true.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I don't even. I've been trying to remember where I heard you having that rant. Was it on the podcast, or was it on one of your videos talking about how people always want to borrow mallets and like, get your own?
Well, I can't remember what it was on, but I do remember going off on the mallet thing. I've been like, everyone, just bring your own fucking mallets. Stop borrowing everyone's mallets. And now we're just telling people don't bring your mallet because you can always borrow someone else's.
Simon's, specifically Simon's, not someone else's.
There's going to be people walking the entirety of Blue Camp just to use my mallet now, aren't there?
There's just going to be a queue leading to our camp,
Can I borrow your mallet?
surrounded by unpitched tents.
And then they'd walk off with it to go to their own tent, and then come
That's
back and hand it to the next person. Be like a relay race.
It's a great idea.
It's got like a big blue tag on it, like it's the toilet key or something.
Who can, so you can do it the quickest. Rush off, bang the pegs in, and rush back and time you.
Do you know what I'd
We
love to
did that in 4 minutes.
What we should do is, like where you got the chain with like your wallet on it. I should have the chain with the mallet on the end, so no one else can take it from me. So if you lean down, there's enough sort of give so you can bang it in. But if anyone tries
Only
to
you.
take it, you have to go with it.
Fantastic idea.
It's a great idea. Fantastic.
I'm done. I'm done in. I was not expecting that to get that great a conversation, but yes. So other things that you will want to have while you're camping. We talked about like medication and everything. You talked about Rennie. We did actually have a comment thinking about it while I'm here. Someone said you want to worry about the other end as well. So taking Imodium.
Yes, that's
to block
true.
you up.
Some people that eat questionable things that download definitely need that. I'm all, I've got a dodgy stomach, so I'm always very wary of what I'm eating at festival, but I haven't always been that way, and it has ended badly. I'm sure it has for a lot of people, so that's probably a good bit of advice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, thing is, the rehydration sachets that we mentioned, essentially, they're just diarrhea treatment. So if you just take, I'm sure they're like acute diarrhea sachets.
They are.
Or something like that.
I think they're supposed to replace everything that you've lost after, because once you have diarrhea, everything just everything goes, doesn't it? So I think they are not specifically, but definitely supposed to be used after you've had really bad diarrhea to sort of replenish all of your.
It'll aid the cause.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me just check. You're both recording, yeah? I know. I never actually double checked.
Yeah.
Yeah, recording. Why? You scared me then.
Good.
Fucking hell! I pressed record.
I was like, do you know what? Normally make an announcement, right? I am recording. You're recording. Yep, we're good. I just didn't do it this time. Just like,
You're talking to two professionals here.
Yeah, we also had some comments about camping beds or air beds. I know some people actually. Yeah, I think the first person that I ever saw to have an actual camping bed was Dave, the guy who was there with us last year, Dave and Kelly. And I went to his tent and I was like, "What is this? This is not." So I normally just sleep on the floor. And I was like, "It's a proper little bed with legs." I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm. A camping bed is literally the best way to do it. I must say, I've done airbed and camping bed, and camping bed you get such an incredible night's sleep. You're off the ground, so you keep warm. They are heavy. You can get ones that the one I've got personally collapses in the same way as a camping chair. So you literally just pull it and it like pops into shape. But it's brilliant. You can get them off Amazon. I think I paid like £80 for mine. Yeah, they are heavy, so you will need to consider how heavy they are in comparison to an airbed. But they're kind of like the premium option when it comes to camping and sleeping. Because for me, I'm sure a lot of other people go to bed on a pumped up airbed and then they'll wake up on a flat one.
Oh yeah.
That's just the way it is, unfortunately. There are means of combating that, and I'm going to shout out Dylan from the Discord, because he recommended using tin foil underneath your inflatable mattress. Just acts as a bit of a thermal barrier. So something to consider. But
Yeah.
if you want the best night's sleep, a pop-up bed is for sure the way to go.
Yeah, me and Vicky we bought a camping bed and then we put the double air bed on top of it in 2022. That was the best sleep I've ever had at Download. So because we got a double camp bed and then you just put the double mattress on top and it was literally like staying in a bed. And also it's so big underneath, we put all our stuff underneath the bed. So the tent was like, do you remember? There was like nothing. It was like empty. I was like, this is the fucking
amazing.
best idea we've ever had. But then last year we couldn't bring it because Vicky was pregnant and I didn't want to carry it by myself because it's a double. So it weighs a ton.
Yeah.
But this year I'm actually thinking if I'm going to do like 3 trips to the car and back, I might bring it and like strap it on the last trip and just bring that by itself. And then I can have a really nice sleep for 5 days. So I'm with Stu. I do recommend a camp bed, but I personally would put the blow-up bed on top of the camp bed. But that's just me.
Yeah. Nice.
Can I just mention, should we say to people, never ever just bring one of those roll mats to sleep on? Because if you do that, you're a Neanderthal for one, and it will be absolutely horrendous and you will have back problems going forward for the rest of your life. Because that's what I used to do for the first few years. I'd never had a fucking airbed. I just used to roll out that stupid little foam mat, and that was just... You're never going to have unless you're absolutely trashed, you're never going to sleep nicely on one of those roll-out mats. So just a word to the wise, it's better to just pay a few extra quid and just get a blow-up mattress because, it's worth it.
Oh, you should definitely try and go the whole hog. Like, if you have a good night's sleep, you're going to have a great day the next day. If you have a terrible night's sleep, you're going to feel like shit for most of the next day.
Yeah.
So just go all out, man. Get yourself a good quality bed, whether it's an airbed or a camping one. We recommend a camping one, obviously. Pack a proper duvet and a proper set of cushions as well, like pillows. I've done festivals in the past with like a little blow up cushion and it just doesn't hit the spot. So just treat yourself nicely, sleep in the same way you'd sleep at home, and you'll feel so much better for it.
Definitely.
Yeah. The pillow thing is actually really good. I always take one of our old pillows now. There was a time where I would take nothing and just sort of roll up one of my hoodies to try and sleep on that.
I couldn't believe that last year when you admitted to not using like an airbed or anything. You just sleep on the floor like a dog.
And this is coming from a guy that has a bad back.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why as well. Yeah, I know. I just sleep on the ground.
Because of the gene that gives me a bad back.
Yeah, but you've still got a bad back. It doesn't matter where it came from.
Mutated.
You should be sleeping on. You should be bringing one of those, like the really, really thick mattresses that like you're not getting anywhere near the floor.
Temper mattress.
That's what you should be sleeping on at a festival.
Yeah. No, my back is usually fine. Even sleeping on the floor.
Okay, all right.
Yes, my hips hurt in the mornings. And I'm waking up sort of every 20 minutes towards the morning and like roll over, hips on the ground. But my back is fine. I actually find, so I generally only get about 5-6 hours sleep anyway. If I sleep any more than that, I wake up and my back is really, really stiff because I've been in the same position for too long. So I need to be able to move around at night. So I'm not like stiffening up. So I think maybe that's why I prefer just the ground, because it's hard and I can move around. When we first moved in here, I had a mattress that I bought years before, and I never bothered. It was full when I moved out, but it was really soft, and my back was awful on it because I would just sink into it and I wouldn't move all night, and I'd wake up and my back would kill.
Just in the same position.
Yeah. So we got a new mattress, and it's like a really firm one, so I can just move around while I'm asleep.
I like an in-between one. I don't like one that you just sink into, because I think that maybe is too much. But I like one with a little bit of give in it. So that's cool. I don't like our mattress that we've got. It's I don't know. It's just not right. But with me, it's pillows. I only sleep on one pillow because I don't like my head like at that angle. I like my head sort of a bit flatter. So I've got one big pillow that I lean up against when we watch TV in bed. That one goes on the floor, and then I've got a thinner pillow that I actually sleep on. I know everyone's different, but that's just me.
Nice.
I mean, talking Download, I don't know what you guys sleep in at night, but I go for socks, pajama bottoms, like long trousers, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a beanie, neck cushion, earplugs, and then true like cushions and pillows we've already mentioned. So I'm like wrapped up like
Jesus Christ.
toasted cinnamon bun style. Yeah.
What do you do when it's hot in the morning? Do you like die?
Oh, I
Do
sweat
you
and die in the morning.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like a dog in a car.
To be fair, it can get cold at night. So I do a hoodie. I do a t-shirt hoodie. I don't wear a hat. I don't wear socks, but I do wear not jogging bottoms, but like I don't know, what would you call them? Pajama bottoms. And then it's sleeping bag and then quilt over the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
So I'm similar. I just don't wear as many layers as you do. I wouldn't wear a hat. Fucking hell, I'd be dying. And earplugs.
I think the hat kind of like aids
Yeah.
with the masking out sound. As soon as I hear any kind of conversation, my brain's just like zoned in, and
okay.
my brain just hears every single word. So I just need to be in complete silence. Someone could break into my tent, and I'd have no idea there was anyone in there.
Okay, that makes sense because I don't need earplugs. I have slept if I'm by myself, obviously, because download I don't usually spend by myself because Vicky's there. But Bloodstock and Trees, I'd sometimes put my headphones in and listen to music just quietly to sort of drown stuff out. But those festivals tend to be a bit louder. Where download at night for me isn't that loud anymore, so I can just sleep through it.
No,
but obviously I understand if you're one of those people that's like sensitive to stuff while you're sleeping. But I'm used to sleeping with the TV on, so I probably am used to sleeping with people people talking. So yeah, but there you go. That's a perfect one the studio's come up with. If you're sensitive to sound at night and you find it hard to sleep, bring some earplugs. That's a great tip for anyone.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't usually bring like pajamas or anything like that. So I normally just climb into
You're
bed.
just naked on the ground.
No quilt, no pillows.
Just starfishing on the ground.
No clothes. He's
Bollock
just
naked.
He's on the cold tent floor. He's just there like that.
You wonder why Adam's never had anything stolen from his tent at night.
Guy gets in. All right, here we go, miss. We're going to mug this guy off. Right, nice. Get in there. Oh, fuck no. None of that, please, mate. I'm right out of here.
Oh, God, hang on a minute. Oh, that got me, that one. No.
It's because we're all...
say at all.
Stu set a picture we've all got in our fucking minds now. That's why.
His back ain't the only thing that's stiff as well.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Generally, I'll just climb into bed in my clothes because I don't want to get into my underwear or anything like that. And I usually sleep in my clothes. But that way,
works.
all of my wallet and everything is in my pockets anyway.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's why it doesn't get stolen, not because I'm naked starfishing. I think it depends. If Kelly's there, then I'll usually like I'm a bit more sensible and
I'd say a good
less
way to
manly.
do it is
Not manly.
what I used to do with I won't mention them too much, but other people, shall we say, that I've been to festivals with, we would have a double sleeping bag, so you'd both be in it together, whereas me and Vicky have separate sleeping bags.
Yeah.
So I can't really remember which one would be better if you're a couple, but because sometimes it's nice to have someone's body heat, especially if you've got someone like Vicky that's literally like a radiator. So I don't know which one of those would be better. But I just made me think of sleeping bags, because that is a big one that I always go about in the every time I do a YouTube video about what to bring to download. I always say get a decent sleeping bag, because I suffered so many years of just buying cheap rubbish sleeping bags and being absolutely freezing at night. And ever since I bought this really good one that I've literally had since download 2016, it was what did it cost? Like 40 quid to buy, and it's lasted me for nearly 10 years of going to download, and it's still perfect. So that's another thing I would recommend, is getting a good sleeping bag.
Yeah. I mean, talking double sleeping bags, if you were to poke your head into mine and George and my wife's tent, you'd think we just like work acquaintances or something, because separate sleeping bags, separate air beds, just completely. Like with the airbeds, it's a good hack, to be fair. Like, I'm a proper wriggler during the night. And if you imagine like two of you sleeping on the airbed, if one person's like shifting up and down, the other person's bouncing around like it's a bouncy castle.
That's true.
So another hack for us is we take two separate single airbeds and put a double sheet over the top of it, so I can move as I want,
that's a good
and
idea.
it doesn't affect her, it doesn't wake her up.
That is a good idea.
And then separate sleeping bags, but then as Simon said, like a double duvet over the top.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I have tried the double sleeping bag before, and I think two single sleeping bags is much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Way better. But yeah, I think we actually went and bought a quilt as well. That's the old duvet from Fat Frank's.
Hey!
Your mate.
Come on, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the first one to mention him, so thank you for that.
That's all right. Yeah, we knew people who would do it every year. They go and buy loads and loads of quilts and everything, and I didn't really want to spend the money on that sort of thing, so I never did it until I probably did it before last year, but last year's the only one I remember. But we've still got it, and we're like, yeah, we're going to bring this every year now. It's amazing actually having a proper quilt as well as the sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one back there, that's my
Layers.
download one. We've got the other quilt here, but we put on the good quilt for her parents, so I'll swap that over. But yeah, that's the download quilt, and I bought that from. I probably did buy it from Fat Frank's like 2 or 3 years ago, and I kept on just not taking them back with me, and I was like, why am I spending £20 every time I go to a festival? It's just wasteful and stupid. So I actually took that one back, and now you just take it back. I got a set of quilt covers for it. There you go. You've got it can last you forever, really.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I know we've been on this for a long time, but pillows. Yeah, I've also tried one of those blow up pillows, and you're just chasing them around the tent all night. It's like, where's it gone? Come back. You put it back underneath your head. This tiny little thing in there, and it's it's rubbish.
Yeah, they're no good.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely proper pillows, proper quilts. Other essentials that you would bring. Another one is, take your own toilet roll, but also take wet wipes. Some people can survive on one a day.
Legends amongst us, one a weekend.
Yeah, wet wipes are amazing for everything. But yeah, you don't want to be caught short in the toilets when you can't find toilet roll. That's all. No. I've seen some people going up to each door looking at them, but that's when I've seen that when it's like really quiet. You don't see that in the mornings when there's a big queue.
No.
So I just assume people just don't want to be seen doing that. Well, I suppose they've got no choice because they're busy anyway. But yeah, toilet roll. Always take toilet roll. Always take it with you to the toilets. That sounds obvious. Take it with you to the toilets.
That just reminded me of a thing that always annoys me about download. We've banged on about it for years as to why they split the toilets into male and female. Yeah. And I go and use the ladies' toilets every time when the guys are free. I'll walk in. I don't give a fuck. What are they going to do? Tell me not to.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe kick you out. I don't know.
Well, they could say don't use it.
Well, they haven't yet.
All right, then. Fine. No one's ever said that to me in the 4 years I've been using the ladies' toilets if the guys are packed. So
no, but quite often I would say am I remembering right? I would say the ladies' queue is usually bigger than the men's, but I could be wrong.
Sometimes, just because obviously gents have obviously got the urinals, haven't they? So it's not 100% queuing for. I was going to say a sit-down poo, but what's the alternative to a sit-down poo? A stand-up one? I don't know. Handstand?
I've done a hover poo before at download. If you haven't done a hover poo before, yeah. Sometimes, like especially in old school times, you go in there and there'd be no toilet seat. But then there's the hole. It's like, I ain't sitting on the hole, so I'm going to have to do a hover poo.
You got to do it.
So I'm
got to do it like Spider-Man.
But yeah, so I think we had somebody write in as well, saying make sure you wake up early to go for a poo. And yeah, first thing in the mornings, the queues can be pretty ridiculous between sort of 7 and 9, 10 o'clock, because everyone's waking up and needing to go to the toilet.
I think like after about 7:30 it starts to get busy. I think if you're between that hour 6:30 to 7:30, I think that you'd be pretty good with doing that. But
Yeah.
I'd say another quick trick for that. Sorry, Ad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine.
Is people always go to the nearest toilet,
Yeah.
but actually, if you were to walk to the next toilet, there's normally less people. Like I saw people doing it in Blue Camp. Everyone in Blue Camp was going to the Blue Camp toilets, and I was like, well, they're obviously going to be full because everyone in Blue Camp's going to do it. So I just walked to their District X toilets. So you walk for 10 minutes, and then you're in a toilet within 5 minutes, and you'll be standing in the queue in Blue Camp for half an hour. So just walk a bit further, and you'll be able to get to the toilets a bit quicker. That was what I kept on doing last year. Just walk into that first bit of District X, use toilets. I was done. By the time I got back out, there were still people that hadn't even got to the toilet by the time I was walking back past them up to Blue Camp. So just a little bit as well in those areas. I don't know about the other side in purple and red and that, because I never went over that side. But definitely like blue, black, yellow, that kind of area. Just walk into District X, the first set of toilets. You will get in there far quicker, and you won't put yourself in the queue.
Yeah, that's a great thing to say. Just keep your eyes open for toilets that might not be used by too many people. It wasn't last year, it must have been the year before, 2023. As we came in through West Car Park, you had a little box office on the right hand side. Before you got before you came into the campsite, there was about 6 to 8 toilets there. So it was actually going out of the campsite, but no one was using them, and they were just as far as the normal toilets. So I was using those all weekend. Yeah,
good call.
Yeah. So like I said, just keep your eyes open and try and think of, or try if you see some toilets that not many people are around. Worth taking a trip to them to see how busy they are.
I was going to say, I'm not sure you're going to have to worry about the toilets being too busy this year.
I don't think so.
Well, not as busy as, certainly not as 2023 is a different ball game, but 2023 and 2024 were both quite busy downloads, I would say. But I don't foresee this year being as busy as the last two. So hopefully, I mean, you won't notice in the campsites because it might be the same amount of people camping almost. Well, certainly in our bits, but yeah, that'll be interesting to see how busy the toilets are.
Yeah.
Well, don't you remember last year when the urinals in Blue Camp were overflowing on the Wednesday?
Yeah.
I got that video on my vlog, and we were all like, how are they overflowing already? We've been here about 4 hours. They're already overflowing. Like, what on earth? But yeah.
Before we move on to anything other than camping, is there anything else you guys can think of, essentials that you take? Or we'll talk about food actually in a minute.
Can I just say the thing that I really forgot to say last time quickly?
Oh, yeah.
So last time we talked about packing, and we were talking about putting stuff into like our big bags. One thing that changed the game for me is a big shout out to Kieran and Courtney, Dippy Donutters. I was watching one of their vlogs. Sorry, guys, do they even listen to this? I can't remember which vlog it was of theirs, but Courtney was showing how she was packing, and she rolled her t-shirts rather than folded her t-shirts. So she was literally sort of rolling them into like a long tube and then putting them in the bag. And then she got her socks, and she was putting the socks in the spare shoes in the bag. So you don't take up any more space because all of your socks are within the shoes. So that space isn't taken up because it would already be taken up by your shoes. And when she rolled the t-shirts instead of folding them, it literally stayed, like when I packed my bag in Download 2023, it was full with all of my t-shirts and stuff in. When I packed my bag in 2024 and rolled them, half the bag was empty. So I had literally half the amount of space extra. So I could just fit more t-shirts, more stuffs, like a little jacket. So I just think it's a really good idea for everyone to roll their t-shirts rather than fold them, because it literally will save you space. And it was one. I was just like, how have I never thought of packing like this? I've been so stupid all these years. So even now, us all going to festivals this long and years of packing, you can still learn shit that you never would have thought of even going for this long. So ever since then, that has changed the game to me. So big thank you to them because awesome.
Yeah. Well, even last episode, we've been going together for 4 years now, have we? And we surprised we all surprised each other with something last episode. It's like we should have known that about each other. So it's all good. It's all handy things to talk about. And food wise, what do you take food wise? What sort of proportion as well? Do you take? Oh, no, do we really need to go into that? That's a bit too much information. If you're taking any food, what do you take?
So in past years, I was guilty in my first few years of taking far too much food. Like, you need to make yourself a list, because if you go to Asda, Tesco, whatever, without a list, you'll be like, oh, I'll get some of them. Oh, I'll get some Squares bars. I'll get some granola bars. I'll get a couple of packs of jellies. Yeah, we need a multi-bag of crisps. And you're just going to end up with so much food that you're just not going to eat. So it's worth just thinking about what are you going to eat in an average day, considering you're only going to be in the campsite from whatever time you wake up, argument's sake, 7:30, and then the arena opens, 10 o'clock? Saturday, Sundays?
Yeah, 10, 11-ish, whenever they
11,
decide
I
to
think.
sort
Yeah.
of do it.
Yeah.
So you're literally going to be in the campsite for 3 hours, maybe, and most of that time you're going to either be queuing for a poo or getting dressed and getting ready to go. So you're not physically going to have the time to shove all this food in your face. So make yourself a list, and I've literally gone from a ridiculous amount of food packed to 2 boil-in-the-bag meals a day, and I don't know, maybe a multi-bag of crisps and 1 pack of jellies maybe. But in fact, tell you what I did start doing, because I take a cool bag. It's like a rigid box cool bag. I did start taking some fruit, which your body thanks you for it. I'm sounding like such a fucking nerd, I know, but
no, you were giving us fruit at Bloodstock, and I was like,
yeah.
I remember saying to you, this is a great, because we've all can have more stuff, like you said. We've got the cooler boxes, we've got the cooler bags. It wasn't rubbish. Like, you bringing fruit and giving us fruit was like, we're getting all these nutrients that we probably should be having right now.
Yeah. Just like a bunch of bananas, a pack of oranges. It is stuff you can eat on the way to the arena as well. It's worth doing, because the more you can fill up in the mornings, sorry download, but the less money you're going to spend in the arena. So that's what I do. I'll wake up, I'll have a breakfast, a boil-in-the-bag breakfast, which has got everything you need in it for a hiker, someone in the military. So it's going to be enough for, me at download. It's going to fill me with the right things. And then just as we're about to leave, I'll have what I consider my lunch, which would be like, I don't know, a pasta bolognese, a chicken tikka. And it's literally in a bag. You rip the lid off and you just tuck in. There's nothing to clean up other than the utensil you've used to eat with.
They look banging.
Just keep it simple.
Those bags that you had last year, they look nice.
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah.
I mean, if we get onto the price of them as well, so they're £6 a go, but then if you buy them from Go Outdoors, it's buy one, get one half price. Or is it might be buy two, get the third half price. And if you consider like £6 for a meal, and then every third one you get is half price, you walk into District X to get a breakfast cob, and it's like literally the driest cob you've ever seen with a dry egg and half a sausage on it, and they're probably like £12 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you buy one of these for £6, I think last year, to feed me for the entire weekend for breakfasts and lunches, I must have spent, I don't know, £45 maybe. And then if you consider that if I was to go and buy breakfast and lunch every single day, as well as an evening meal, you've got to be talking at least like £150 on food alone.
Oh, yeah.
For like every single day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It just reminded me of, obviously, that video that I'd done for 2,000 Trees, where, I spent £36 over the space of 3 days not buying stuff from... And I'm not saying you shouldn't buy from vendors, because you should. That was just an experiment, but you can do festivals well, still eat well, and do it on the cheap. If you're clever with, like you said, the amount you eat and the amount you bring. If you're only bringing what you need. I was guilty, like you in the past, of just bringing so much stuff. Me and Vicky would end up bringing back bags of food, literally just bags of food. And you're carrying stuff you don't need. But the more stringent I am, I still end up bringing something back. Maybe not as much as before, but now we've changed slightly where now I do the whole cool box thing. I make my own breakfast. I bring my own bacon, my own sausages, my own bread, and then I do all of that myself rather than buying it, because I can buy a pack of bacon, sausages, and bread, and then slices of cheese for what? You get all that for $10. That would cost me over $10 each day just to do that
Per
breakfast.
day,
So, and that's just breakfast. But I won't go too much into that anyway. But my rule now for festivals is on the Wednesday when we're there, it's 3 meals. So breakfast, lunch, dinner. So that'll be Wednesday and Thursday. But days where you're in the arena, I will do two meals I've brought with me and then 1 meal in the arena. So then you're only spending, you're only buying 1 meal while you're in there. So I might do like, a breakfast and lunch one day at the tents and then dinner in the arena, or vice versa. So I might walk in early and get a breakfast, or I might walk in and then just get lunch. So that's how I do it now to try and save money, because that money is a big deal in this house now. So trying to...
or for everyone.
Yeah, like...
For anyone to afford to eat 3 meals a day, buying from Download is ridiculous money.
I see people in the arena and they're like buying drinks in the arena all day. They're eating all their meals in the arena. I'm like, you must have spent over £100 today on food and drink, and doing that for even just the 3 days is absolute madness. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
whilst we're on the subject of money, something that I started doing, I think it was for Download last year, that works really well for me. I'm going to say it because some people might listen to it and think, oh, that's a good idea. Setting up a standing order specifically for just enjoying yourself at Download, instead of getting there and thinking, I can't really afford to buy pints in the arena. I've done it specifically for that, just so I'm not there worrying about the money I'm spending. It's there to be spent. I'm there to enjoy myself. So either setting up a standing order. Last year it was like 15 quid a week or something like that, leading up to Download, not from like the entire year, because I'd have ridiculous amounts of money doing it that way. Or using an app called Plum. Now, I don't know if either of you have heard of Plum.
No.
So it's essentially an app that you just connect to. I'm not affiliated with this company.
I was going to say,
there's no code, like SMTV code.
If he was, you'd know about it.
So yeah, you just connect it to your banking app, and whatever money you spend, it rounds it up to the next nearest pound, and it just puts it into a pocket. And then you get to Download, and then you've just got this money that you never even knew was leaving your bank, that you can just, spend and buy whatever drinks you want during the day and not feel guilty about doing it.
Yeah.
Great little tip. Yeah, definitely try that if anyone wants to enjoy a drink in the arena without feeling guilty about it.
Yeah. That's quite good. I'm pretty rubbish at saving. I'm far better at paying stuff back than saving. But I've never had a credit card, so I've never been able to do that. So I'm actually quite glad. There's been some times where I thought, I could do with a credit card right now. I could do with...
You don't even have one for like family emergencies if your washing machine was to break, or...
No.
I mean, that's the real reason. I got an MBNA one. It's the first one I ever had. I only got it a few years before we wanted to buy this house because I needed the credit. And I've only got £500 on it, but we've just got it as sort of an emergency. I'm surprised you don't have that.
No. We've got some savings though.
Oh, okay.
We got money there if we need it. But before we had kids, we were putting it was £50 a week into our savings account for years. So yeah, we've
nice
that we've whittled that down a little bit since having kids, and we've gone, we need £1,000 for this mattress. We were like, we need £1,000 for a new mattress and a load of other rubbish. But we've got a little bit still. So we haven't needed it. But yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I might still apply for one at some point for that kind of reason as well. But yeah, so we've got a thing in work called ComSave, and it takes money out of my wages before I even get it. So that's how I've been saving. Up to Christmas, it's stupid. Up to Christmas, I was having £20 come out of my wages into this savings account. And then since Christmas, I was like, I'm a bit skint. There's not as much as I wanted in there, so I've upped it to 50 quid. But we can't do any overtime anymore. It's really not very much. I was doing like 7, 8, 9 hours overtime a week at Christmas, so I should have had it at £50 a week going in there before Christmas. Silly me, but Yeah, I'm doing the same. I didn't know you could do it with your bank, but yeah, I'm doing it with work. So that's coming out to save specifically for download. Food wise for me, so the same as you. I've had years where I've tried to take food for the whole weekend with me. I've taken loads of different things. Before you go and you think about what you want to take. Obviously, you can't really heat. Well, we couldn't really cook stuff that much at the time. But I took with me loads and loads of things like crisps and cereal bars. I just was never in the mood for them all weekend. I love cereal bars. I'd eat them all day. But camping, just think about them and go, I really don't want to eat that. So
probably because you're drinking as well. Like
probably.
I kind of lose my appetite a little bit when I'm drinking because I just want to get pissed out. And it's not till you get really drunk that you get hungry. I don't know what you're like.
Munchies.
Yeah, what you're like with food, because everyone's different, obviously, when they drink. So
yeah, I don't get the munchies with alcohol anymore. I used to, obviously, going uptown when I was younger. Always have to have a kebab going home with because you need something to eat. But yeah, I don't get that anymore. But yeah, so I ended up buying loads of food to take with me, taking most of it home, and I was buying food there. So after a while, because I'm not sure what I'll want to be eating, I just stopped taking food with me. That's when I started taking the barbecues, and this was before the co-op was there, so you could get the packs of bacon. It was like £1.25, and there was 4 slices of bacon, sometimes 5 if you were lucky. Sometimes 5. So I get like 4 or 5 packs of that, and a loaf of bread, and that was about a tenner. It worked out at £8 to £10. Maybe 10 to 12, including the barbecue, and just cook all the bacon up in the mornings, and you fill yourself up, and then there's still some left over to hand around other people if they were hungry.
It's one of my vivid memories of Download 2022 is waking up in the morning and seeing you just there cooking an absolute fuckload of bacon in the morning. Yeah. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, that smells so good. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Because disposable barbecues, they can cook the bacon so quickly as well. I get paranoid with food. I wouldn't want to try and cook sausages on it. Even though it would probably be fine. It would take a longer. But yeah, I know bacon will be fine on there. It'll cook quickly. So you can get more on and put more on.
This is why I recommend getting a cool box like I did this year.
I think I'm going to for this year.
Just load it with ice. You can bring sausages, cheese, bacon, whatever, and you keep it in there for. I mean, it was. I haven't done download with it yet, but for trees and bloodstock, we all our food was fine the whole time. So even up to the last day, I was still cooking bacon and sausages for breakfast. That was still keep cool, even though most of the ice had melted. Just the water and the residual sort of temperature in there was decent. So,
but top tip with that, if you get because you should take bottled water anyway. But the bottled water that you take in, if you just freeze it, put that in your cool box. So then when it thaws out and it melts, you've got nice cold water to drink.
Yeah, great idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I've been doing that a few years now. It works really well.
Why don't you tell me about that?
Because essentially it's just an ice pack, isn't it, that you can drink? Huh?
Yeah. Tell me about that one last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Pack of food. I think the co-op is actually more expensive for bacon now than it was before, but it probably not by much.
No.
But yeah, generally I'll go and get like a breakfast baguette. It's usually about a tenner in the mornings with a coffee, 15 quid. And I'll be buying food the rest of the day usually. One thing I noticed last year was that I always used to. I never wanted to spend more than a tenner. Maybe I was old school. Maybe I was annoyed that the prices of things were creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. So I was like, right, a tenner is fine. Should be able to get something decent for a tenner. But I think I got a kebab for like 15 quid last year, and it was massive, and it filled me right up. And I was like, okay, so maybe it is worth spending that extra little bit to get a better meal, get a decent meal that's going to fill you up a little bit more. So,
I mean, there is great food, and not all of it is massively overpriced.
No.
It just depends on what portions you get. Like some places you go to and you're like, this is fantastic. But then like that kebab place, when I got one from Download last year, they gave me like half a pot.
Yeah.
And, I didn't say anything. I should have. But then I got it from the same people at Bloodstock, and it was incredible and full. So Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah, but
It's always worth. Sorry,
Oh.
Ad, it's always worth like scoping out the places as
I
well.
was about to say,
See what people have ordered.
Yeah, that's a good
and
idea. Yeah.
Look at what people are walking away with before you commit to it.
yeah,
Because exactly as you said, the last thing you want is to drop 15 quid and you're really disappointed. So just be nosy at what people are eating
Yeah, I think that's
on the weekend.
I think that's how we spotted the gyros place in 2023.
Yes.
because
yeah,
we were walking around and Sammy was like, "Oh, we should get some gyros," but he's Turkish, so he's like very much a snob when it comes to that sort of like the cuisine from that sort of region. And then he was like, "No, let's just see what they're walking away with." He was like, "No, it looks bang. It looks legit. It looks legit." It was one of the best things I've ever eaten at Download. So
yeah,
I think that's a good tip to look at what people are walking away with before you go and get it.
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I would say you want to probably keep. I mean, you can do it a lot cheaper now. The co-op's there. You can get meal deals, which are amazing. God, were they like £6 each last year?
Yeah, but if you got a
For a
members
meal deal.
card,
I got ripped
if you
off.
get a members card, you get them for pretty much almost the normal price that you would get them in the stores,
Yeah,
which
was it
is
about £4 or £5. I can't,
Yeah,
I really
it's
can't
good.
remember how much they were.
yeah, it's good. Like I think I would do that probably at least once or twice when we're there this year. Is just go and get a BLT. And although I did realise that the BLT that I ate was the one that had the lettuce in it that people were getting fucking things from. So I'm glad that I didn't have one. But yeah, but the sandwiches are decent. It's a good meal deal.
Yeah.
Co-op.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would say you want to be putting aside £15 to £20 per meal if you're buying it from the vendors. So if that's 3 times a day, 50 to 60 quid a day,
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more, actually, thinking about it, if you want to get drinks as
Drinks, yeah, drinks would be
Um,
where it would go up. Yeah.
well. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're buying food every day, you probably won't buy too much on the Wednesday because might be traveling for a lot of it. But yeah, so say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want to have a good 2 to 250 quid for food if you're buying it just from the vendors. Like I said, you can do it cheaper. That you can get lots of things on a co-op now if you're camping. Then merch, how much merch is quite a lot these days.
It is. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not cheap, is it?
30 quid are they for t-shirts? Or was it 35? I can't
20.
remember.
I think 25. they're
32, 35.
Yeah, 20,
Yeah.
sometimes they're 25 if they haven't got certain stuff. It depends, doesn't it? But I mean, it depends what you want to buy. Some people specifically save up all year because they know they're going to go to Download to buy loads of merch, which is fair. But if you're just like, I'll include some money in there to buy merch. I mean, you probably need at least 50 or 60 quid to get 2 bits of merch, and that's minimum. You probably need really around 100 a ton probably to get a couple of t-shirts and a cup or whatever you get, whatever you want to get. But I know some people are like, they save up the whole year and then they go and they drop like 300 quid on merch because they've been saving because they know they're going to get the merch when they're there. So it depends on what kind of person you are, really, I guess. You see some people walking out of that Download store.
The mega
With
store,
with like bags, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 full bags, and I'm like, what the fuck? This person just spent like 300 quid in here. How on earth are these people doing it?
Credit card.
I mean, there's some things in there, like the leather jackets or whatever, that are genuinely like 350 quid for like a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There was like gaming chairs
a lot.
in there, but yeah. So I'm just trying to go over as much of sort of money and how much things cost as possible, because you see it all the time, people asking on social media like, how much money should I take or how much money should I put aside? So rather than just saying like what they'll probably get online is like £1,000, and there's no context, there's no what they need it for. I'm trying to go for trying to get as much information for those kinds of people as possible. So there's loads of merch which costs a lot of money. It depends how much you want to buy, etc. Food, merch. What else would you buy? Pints were about
£6.50.
how much?
£8.
£8?
Were they 8 quid?
Yeah.
Okay.
£8.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody hell.
I remember
Just-
£6.50 for some reason. Maybe that was for cider.
The ciders were 8 as well,
Maybe.
and what hurt the most
it
was
8
it was literally just a can of Summersby.
Oh
I do
yeah.
not-
Just a
I do
can.
not remember
Maybe
it
you're thinking of
being-
2005, like I was last episode, Simon.
No, but
With the
6.50
Audi.
sounded like the number to me, but maybe it wasn't 6.50.
There was obviously the thing of the Barclay card discount, which gave you like 10% off, which brought it down to obviously like £7.
Oh yeah.
20 or whatever
I
per
tell you
pint.
what bar I did like that did do different stuff. The one to the left-hand side of the main stage on your way to the Avalanche.
Gooseneck.
Yeah,
The gooseneck
is that
inn?
the one? Yeah, with all the like pallets on the side.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
some different.
Like the motorbike on the
Yeah,
front.
they had some different stuff in there. We were drinking some IPAs and because if you're going to spend £8, you don't want to spend £8 on a fucking Carlsberg, do you? You want to spend £8 on a on some sort of something that actually has some taste to it. So yeah, that bar was really good because they were actually doing half decent ales and stuff. So
Yeah, I think I've got some Hobgoblin from there before.
yeah, I did have a Hobgoblin last year. Yeah, that was banging.
Really good. Yeah, what else can you spend money on at Download?
Random shit, clothes, glasses. I mean, there's a lot of
Sunglasses.
there's a lot of it's not mainly in the District X now, but in the arena there's loads of stores, isn't there, with loads of stuff.
Yeah.
There's cool, man, because they've there's loads of I always see t-shirts and I'm like, man, I'll buy loads of these band t-shirts, and they got really good patch stores. I mean,
Yeah.
probably the best place for patches I've ever seen is Bloodstock. It's unreal. Their patch stores are mind blowing because obviously metal jackets are such a big thing, but they do have decent ones at Download as well. So yeah, I guess it just depends on what you've got to spend, because some of the stores have really, every year I see something when I'm like, that's awesome, I would buy that, but I don't have any money.
Yeah. You could get a tattoo.
Yeah, you get a tattoo. Yeah, good point.
That costs money.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a tattoo at Download. It's still
Costs
on my
a lot
list.
of money.
I'm still waiting for Dean to be a featured artist, because he works for Crooked Rook, who do Download quite often. So I'm waiting for him to be a featured artist, and he said he's going to do a little Download dog on me. So when that happens, that'll be pretty cool. Just beg. Hopefully it's not a hot year when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was considering whether this year was going to be my year. This is my 10-year anniversary.
Oh, nice.
No.
Even something tiny, just something,
Yeah, just
like a token.
just a little Download dog with something.
Yeah, like a tally underneath it or something, or an X for 10. I don't know.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Is Dean coming this year?
No, not at the moment.
At the moment.
I've
Say,
messaged
just
everyone and
just
said, "You
Get him
coming,
to bring one of his guns and we'll do it at camp.
dude?" I'm sure you guys have seen the state of my legs. It's not good when you have your mates just randomly tattooing you. It's you're gonna get some shit and it's never gonna come off.
Yeah, well, it's Stu.
You should get like a Steve-O tattoo on your back, but it's actually Adam.
Let's do it. Depends how pissed you get me. You get me fucked, I'll tattoo anything anywhere. As long as it's not on my face or hands, I'll get it done.
Awesome. Good to know. Noted. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Food. We've done money. So I suppose the next logical thing to talk about is District X. And a few hours ago, there was an announcement for District X. Announcement of an announcement. So we're actually doing this a day before they've announced it properly, which is annoying. But we will catch up about it at some point and talk about everything that they announced tomorrow at 4 p.m. So we don't know exactly what's going on, but so yeah, District X is what's formerly known as the Village. You've got all sorts of stuff in there. It's free. That might sound stupid to a lot of people, but I have seen a lot of people saying, "Is this something extra you got to pay for?" And I don't blame people for thinking that with the way the festival's going recently.
I can understand that, because it sounds like a separate section.
Yeah.
If you'd never been to the festival before and you knew, you'd think, "Oh, District X sounds like a separate, like an RIP or a separate section." So I don't think that that's a stupid thing to assume if you've never been to the festival before, because
although
you won't know where it is.
They'll announce it tomorrow and say, "Yeah, it's in its own separate area. You got to pay to get in now."
Could you imagine?
Need a separate wristband.
Yeah.
Is a £5 cover charge?
Yeah. Well, when we had Rob Kellis on, we were talking about it, weren't we? And he was like, "They could put it inside the arena bit. Don't tell them. Don't tell them that they could put it in there, and you have to pay to get into that bit."
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Do you know what that? Do you know that would have a negative and positive effect?
Negative for us, positive for Download because they make more money.
No, negative because we wouldn't have District X, but positive because it would bring back the partying in the campsite.
True.
and the old school sort of wild vibe in the campsites, because most people wouldn't pay to get into somewhere after a certain time. No. Yeah. So that's what I mean. It would have a negative effect, but I think in the campsites that would have a very positive effect on the vibe in the campsites.
Yeah. I honestly think that's not going to happen. I think that would be the beginning of the death of download if they decided to start charging for the village.
Microtransactions.
Yeah. It's rubbish. Loot boxes. You pay a tenner and they're like, they roll a thing. You get to go to the fairground bit of District X, not the doghouse.
You look at
one square of toilet roll.
Look at the download logo and you go, this is starting to look a little bit like the EA logo. What's going on here?
But yeah, so let's have a
download festival. It's in the field.
Oh, it's good.
So some of the things that they have said they will announce. Let's see if we've got any of it. When was the last time they put?
I mean, I know that we know two very great people who organise District X, but it does sound like they've kind of already announced. We already kind of know what they're going to announce, just not any specifics of what they're going to announce.
Yes.
So we know there'll be podcasts. We just don't know which podcasts. We know there'll be a skate ramp, but we don't know who will be there. Yeah. We know that there's going to be DJs, but we don't know who will be there. We don't. So I think it's kind of that. It's just like getting an announcement with just more detail, even though we kind of know what's going to be in District X.
That's true. But the last family announcement that Stu got, you got it, didn't you? It said on there it's going to be revamped or a new version of District X. So it'll be interesting to see what's actually happening with it. Another thing, there's going to be a sports day.
What does that entail? Like egg and spoon?
Are they actually going to bring the footy back?
Well, I was thinking we've talked about old downloads a lot recently. We've talked about even last year while we were there doing the live show. We talked about football and how we wanted to bring it back this year. We talked about. Did we talk about the skating while we were live?
We did talk about the skating, and then they brought it back.
We didn't talk about wrestling, but I mean, we've talked about wrestling loads about that recently on here. To bringing wrestling back, it's like
ripping us off, ripping us down, ripping us off. This is disgraceful.
Well, I mean, you said we know that the two people who organise it, Jenny and Danica, they weren't going back then. They need somebody to look up to and go, who knows what it was like. Oh, hang on. Simon and Adam know what it was like because they've been here the whole time.
Mate, they're looking down on us, not up at us.
No, up at us.
They'll have to get like a red telephone that they just pick up and...
What do we need to do?
Direct calls
Here we go, right.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. It's announced at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I am looking forward to all the same names as last year. It won't be all the same names, but... I'll put money on it being Sappening podcast for the 4th year in a row. Zoe London, almost certainly. But yeah, some other cool additions that there will be. So
I'll be interested to see which wrestling company it is, because I can bet you it won't be WWE.
Yeah, I don't know much about wrestling.
They're so hot. They're so hot at the moment. They will not be touching Download Festival.
Okay, what about AEW? Are they doing
out
much?
of their stratosphere? No. I don't think that they'll be... Well, they are doing much, but I don't think they'll do anything to do with Down. I'd be very surprised if it was WWE or AEW. I think it'll be probably one of the... We need a time machine. We need a time machine for that.
What's TNA? ECW.
Oh, well, it won't be TNA because TNA now is affiliated with WWE. So
okay, ECW Extreme. That was a PS1 game. That was great.
Again, you'll need a time machine for that as well.
I have no idea about anything about wrestling,
but I think it's going to be probably one of the British companies. I don't know which one, but I'll be interested because I always say bring the wrestling back. It's so much fun to watch, and it's great to watch there. If you there's no one I want to see to watch a band. Don't know. I'm just going to go watch two girls or guys beat the shit out of each other because it's fun.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely catch some wrestling no matter what it is. So I'm excited. That's the one bit of that sort of an announcement of an announcement that I was really excited about.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time they had it in the Village or District X. The last few times.
18?
Oh, was it?
Last time I remember NXT being there was about 18, and that was actually in the arena.
Yeah, it was around there that they stopped it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was in the arena down by the Avalanche stage.
Yes.
Yeah, it was 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember it being in the village?
Oh no, 2019. It was there as well.
Oh well, no one went. I mean, the village was flooded at that point, wasn't it?
No, that was in the arena, wasn't it?
I can only assume so. Yeah.
Simon, have you ever
Mhm.
seen it in the village?
No.
No.
Makes you wonder where they'd fit a ring in District X.
Yeah, but we always say that District X still looks empty, doesn't it? Even with
Yeah.
all the stuff in it. So I think there's plenty of
There's
room for
loads of
another
room.
tent. Yeah, I think there's plenty of room in there.
Yeah.
They haven't quite. They've got. Don't get me wrong. District X is great, but I think that the layout of District X they haven't quite got perfect yet. I know it's been a bit of a test. It's only been going a couple of years, but they haven't quite nailed where permanently everything goes. So it seems
No.
to be different every
Mhm.
year. So yeah,
And I get it. Like, it must be really hard to work out before you've got people there. You're like, what's the best way to put all this? You know, it's, so yeah, that's coming tomorrow. So there are a few. No, I won't go about the stages, but there are a few stages in District X. I think there's one that I don't know about. I was trying to work out. There was another thing that went out a while back that said there's 5 stages. Where you got the doghouse stage, the side splitter stage, which is where a lot of the comedians and the podcasts go.
podcast. Yeah,
Then they had a new stage last year, which was where the chili eating competition was.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any.
And then there was the one across from that where we had the Dear Download meet.
Yeah, I
That
don't
little
think.
stage.
That was the Ace of Spades Tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the meat. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's 4, and I'm sure it said 5, and I was trying to work it out, and I was like, are they adding a stage?
They might be. There might be.
It's probably going to be the
another-
wrestling one, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah, could be. But yeah, so for anybody who isn't aware, I know we've been talking about this already. But yeah, so District X is like it's a little village. I always used to say in the evenings I'm going into town because that's where all the fun is. Everyone goes there to drink.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff happen out there. You got a few stalls that you can buy from, fairground rides. There was a big screen. I don't know if it had any films on it last year, but they did.
Yeah, it did. They were showing loads of Hammer
Yeah,
horror
yeah.
stuff on it.
Okay, cool. Film cinema screen then. Film cinema screen is a weird way of putting it. All sorts of stuff. If you're camping, you'll see it. You'll have a great time there. The arena and the bands. So for anybody who isn't aware, the arena usually opens a bit later on the Friday than it does the Saturday and the Sunday, just to give people a chance who have only got 3-day tickets to get there and set up. So I think it usually starts at around 1. It opens about 1 o'clock on
Around
Friday.
there, yeah. Around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then you obviously got bands all day long until about 11. Is it 11 or half 11?
11's the curfew,
Yeah,
isn't it,
it's
really?
around there. They don't finish much. Like, they don't take a piss and go way over that.
I think sometimes there's a bit of like overflow on the Dogtooth. Dogtooth, I'm sure, has been on like 11:15, tops maybe.
Yeah.
But generally, it's 11 o'clock for most
I'm not sure
stages.
they're as worried about the sound coming from the doghouse because it probably doesn't travel half as much as the main stage does. So
Yeah.
Dogtooth. Did I say doghouse?
sorry, Dogtooth, Doghouse.
I've done that
Dogtooth?
loads of times.
Dogtooth, yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
worry.
One of those names needs to change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dear download stage.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we're reserving
There
at
you
the
go.
courtyard stage. We'll just start telling people they're changing it to that. The Donald Trump method. If you keep saying it, people will start believing it, and then the organisers will have to change it.
I like it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Yes. But yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff. We've spoken about some of the things that are in the arena. Oh, we said 1 o'clock. It's usually around 11 o'clock opening on the Saturday and the Sunday for bands at the arena. It's a good, probably 45-minute walk, 30 to 45-minute walk from most of the campsite. You know, if you're right at the back, it's going to be a little bit further.
Yeah.
So prepare for that. Take a couple of cans. But then, yeah, you can't just nip back to the tents if you need to. Well, you can, but it's like a 2-hour round trip.
It's not a nip.
Yeah,
it's not a nip.
there's no
back.
nipping going
No,
on. is
no.
there?
This is why I don't want to sound like an old man, but those old school days when it was in the infield, you literally could nip back to the tent. I nip back to the tent in between bands multiple times a day. Grab a few cans, drink them on the way, and you're back in. But those days are long gone. Downloads.
Yeah.
There's no more going back to the tents now.
This is why the pilot was so incredible. Like, you could be back at your tent within 2 minutes, probably. Not lose sight of the main stage. Grab your beers, drink some more, and then be back at the main stage. Within 2 minutes.
Yeah,
that's the best thing about it.
That's the good thing about Bloodstock as well. You're never. It's busy. It's a bit smaller, so it's a bit busier. So that the only thing that are in your way is people. But actually getting back to the tent is doable at Bloodstock, where you can get back and go, we're going to have a few cans and then get back in for the next band. Like, it's doable. But a download, it's like, no. But yeah, I get you. The pilot was just, it was unreal for that.
I don't think I've ever been back to my tent during download, during the day.
I've gone back if there's like a giant gap and I'm like hungry or something, then I've been back before. But yeah, once you're in the arena these days, you're so far from your tent. Like, what's the point? You might as well just stay in the arena and do whatever. See a band you don't know.
I did do it, but it was RIP, so it's a bit different. I nipped back for a pot noodle, but that's when it was Sleepy Hollow, and it's literally like, I don't know, 7 minutes back to your tent. But general camping, there's no chance.
Yeah.
Won't see me doing that.
Yes, let's not talk about the RIP people.
Go back to what you said a minute ago. Yeah, I think it was 2023. I think the Friday night we were in the arena waiting for who headlined the Friday night
of
2023.
Yeah, it was Metallica. No, it wasn't. It was just
Bring Me.
It was. I don't know. One of the nights I was in the arena waiting for the headliner to come on. And it was starting to get cold, and I was like, I'm going to need to go back to the tent to get a jacket. And I was annoyed. So I did it as quick as I could. And I did it in probably about an hour and 20, I think it was, something like that. Just over an hour.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was expecting to have to do it the next night. It must have been the Friday night. And I was expecting to have to do it the next night, the Saturday night. But it didn't get cold. I remember saying I was surprised that even though the sun had gone down, it usually gets absolutely freezing at night. We should talk about that with the camping actually as well. Yeah, normally
it wasn't the Saturday. Like, I'm pretty sure the Saturday's like the hottest day ever at Download Festival.
Was it?
Which is probably why it didn't get. Yeah, I think the Saturday, the Friday or the Saturday. I can't remember which one. I think it is the Saturday.
It was a Saturday, yeah.
But the Saturday is the hottest recorded day ever at Download, which is probably why you didn't need a jacket in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I was surprised I didn't have to go back because I was like, it hasn't got cold, so I don't need to go and do that trip back again. But yes, while we're on that, it does usually get very, very cold. As soon as the sun's gone down, it gets really cold. You're going to want a jacket if you're in the arena, or a fast walking pace.
It's a great excuse to get to the front though, because there's heat in numbers. Like, the closer you are to people, the warmer you'll be. And if you're feeling extra cold, just have a little mosh, have a little push about, and you'll warm up soon enough. Just do that every time you get cold. But yeah, for sure, like, you need to consider what you're actually going to take, because you're committing to the entire day. And it's obviously not fun if it's like a really, really hot day and you've got to think about what you're wearing later. But even if you like take a hoodie with you inside, just like wrap it around your waist or something, like tie the arms around your waist so you're cool enough during the day, but as soon as that sun drops, you've got a hoodie wrapped around your waist to put on of the evening. Something you'd definitely benefit from, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Definitely. And if there was no risk of it getting muddy or dusty, I would 100% take my Udi. That thing is so warm. But
Yeah.
I don't want to have to buy another one. Risk it getting muddy or anything. Although, I keep seeing people talking about these dry robes.
You're going to be a dry
I'm
robe
not going to
wanker.
be one, but I was wondering how many we're going to see this year. So that's the thing.
Georgia takes hers every year.
Does she?
She doesn't wear it in public, mine.
Yeah.
She takes it to where she gets cold in, like the campsite and whatever. Yeah.
It depends though, doesn't it? Depends on what the weather's like at the festival. Because if you'd be wearing your waterproofs and your waterproof jacket and whatever if it's wet, but if it's dry, there is always that risk of you not taking anything in with you and then being fucking freezing in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just talking about things you should take into the arena. I've mentioned in the last episode how important I think it is to take a bum bag just to have everything on you. So in the bum bag, I'll just like talk about what I actually take. So we've got a battery pack, obviously the cable to go with, because the last thing you want is to be out in the arena, get separated from your group or whatever, and your phone loses charge. So battery pack and a cable, a bank card. Now, you can always rely on Apple Pay or Android Pay, but if for whatever reason your phone can't get signal, or again, your phone dies and you haven't got a battery pack, guess what? You ain't buying any food or anything to drink. So take your bank card. I always tend to take my ID. I don't know why. I think it's just something my wife tells me that I need to do. So I just do it because I don't want to get told off. A phone bungee. We discussed this before. Yeah. It's just something to keep your phone safe. I'll try and get a link sent in the Discord, because the last thing I want is any of you guys having your phone stolen or even losing your phone. Sun cream, a pack of tissues. Now, obviously, previously, earlier on, we spoke about taking toilet roll, but you don't want to be walking around the arena with toilet roll.
Yeah, true. Good
so,
point. Yeah,
a little pack of tissues in your bum bag. So if you need a wipe, you've got one. It comes in a plastic pack as well, so if it rains, they stay nice and dry. Another thing on bank card and ID, something I started doing a couple of years back, is actually printing my phone number out and sticking it on all of my valuables. So like my phone, bank card, ID, GoPro, anything like that has got my phone number on. So if someone picks it up, they can ring me and we can arrange to meet up. I think that's a good shout.
Nice.
And then the final thing was a Clash Finder. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about Clash Finder in a bit more depth, talk about what it is.
Yeah, I never use it.
I never use it either.
I'll do that then, shall I? So a Clash Finder. So definitely something I recommend is using Clash Finder. You can go on it right now. Although the times aren't perfect on there, someone takes their best guess at what they're going to be. So you can go on there, just figure out how it works and whatever, and you can highlight the bands that you want to see. So you'll see like the entire lineup, but then your bands will be in green. When the true times do get announced, it's like seriously useful. Instead of just guessing what time a band goes off or whatever, you've got the exact start and finish times. So you can either print it off. It's a good idea to have it printed off and in your bum bag. Otherwise, something that I started doing past couple of years is taking a screenshot of it on my phone and then setting it as my phone background for the day. So Friday, I'll have the bands I'm seeing, Saturday, Sunday, etc. So you literally just have to take a peek at your phone, look at the time, and say, oh, I've got so-and-so on in 10 minutes on the Avalanche stage. Just ensures that you see all the bands that you want to see, or even discover some new ones. Check it out.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, great idea. One thing I thought about when you're talking about bank cards, there have been times where the vendor maybe accidentally puts the wrong price in, or maybe deliberately. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it comes up a lot in previous years, doesn't it?
So I was actually able to go into my banking app and set a limit to contactless. So I can't spend more than about £40 contactless now.
What, per transaction?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
that's good. Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
Most food is going to cost you between 15 and 20 quid probably anyway. So yeah, 40 quid. It's not going to be too. If they do overcharge you, I mean, what a lot of people will do, they'll say, "Can I see the screen?"
Yeah, you're well within your rights when you're paying for something to say, "Can I see?" Sometimes you can see the screen because they turn it round, or you can see. But I always, all right, that's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Just in case, because it might be completely accidental. I'm not saying everyone does it. Someone might. Sometimes if they're keying it in, they'll, everyone makes mistakes. So
yeah.
I'm not saying all vendors would try and steal from you, but someone might put an extra digit in and accidentally do that. But
I did that once.
Oh, did you?
I was trying to pay my barber £15 for a skin fade. I ended up paying him £150.
It's not
Good
what
times. So it happens, but just ask. You might get. I'll be honest. When I asked in a previous year, "Oh, can I look at the screen?" I did get some dirty looks from vendors. Why? I've got no idea. Obviously, they just thought I thought they were shifty, but like Si says, you're well within your rights. Who's going to suffer at the end of the day if they've typed it in wrong? Not them. It's going to be you. So just look after yourself.
Yeah, and if they're not
I
shifty,
agree.
they'll happily show you.
Yeah, I bet 99%
You know?
of them will be more than happy to go,
Yeah.
there you go, no worries. All right, sweet,
Yeah.
thank you. Nothing against you. I just want to make sure I'm paying the right price. So that, don't feel bad for saying this. 99% of vendors, will be totally fine with you doing that.
Yeah.
Something I noticed though. Sorry, I'd gone.
But you got to think about, like you said, 99% of the time it won't happen, but it does happen. It has happened, and it does happen. And if they end up accidentally or deliberately taking most of the money that you've got, you skint the rest of the week. So it's worth taking those precautions, having a look at the screen. Sometimes I have a bit of a problem with maybe a bit of anxiety or something. I wouldn't always feel comfortable asking them. Sometimes I would, but majority of the time I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. That's one of the reasons why I set a limit on my card.
That's
so
fair.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of you out there that wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. So
No.
good, another option there. Sorry, Sue, what was you?
Just in terms of prices of things, last year was the first year I noticed it. It was more like the ice cream vans, to be honest, because I mean, I'm not telling you to sneak anything in at all, but we'd get bottles of poppers mixers, and it was weird. At the start of the day, you'd pay like £3 for a bottle of pop, and then towards the end of the day, it was costing like £4.70, £5 for a bottle of pop. And I don't know if this is like something they're allowed to do or...
I have heard that Download will have people going around checking, a lot of vendors, but how often it actually happens, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it happened with the it happened with the Eye as well, like the Ferris wheel. So earlier on in the day, was it Sunday that Avenged played last year? Wasn't it?
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
Earlier on the Sunday, me and Georgia, we went and checked out the price, and it was £8 per person, and we went and checked that out at 12 o'clock, and we thought, yeah, go on, we'll do that for the final headliner of the weekend. It'll be nice to see the show from up there. So we went there. We went back at probably about 10:30, and they actually doubled the price. So instead of it being £16 for the two, it costs £32. And apparently that's a thing. It costs more money to go on the Ferris wheel during the headliner than it does for any other point in the day. But I will say we still did it, and I loved it. I think it's just a great thing to do, even if you don't do it during the headliner. But for me, I think that might become a bit of a not a ritual, but you know what word I'm trying to think of. Tradition. That's the one.
Yeah.
A tradition each year that we just do on the Sunday because it's just nice to do, isn't it?
Yeah, all the years I've been going to Download, I've never done it either.
Well, that was the first year last year. Yeah,
no,
it was great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Rip off, mind, £32, but I enjoyed
I've always wanted to. I've just never had an opportunity, but I think I'm going to add that to the list.
Yeah,
I'm adding it to the list.
Just said, add it to the list. I've never done it either.
Yeah, so add it to the list. Well, we're fucking. It's going to be a busy year, boys. It's going to be a busy year. We've got a lot to do this year.
Get our running shoes on. Oh, we just have to ask if we can get one of those golf buggy things.
Yeah.
So we need to get around.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, guys. You're not having any footage. Let us get the footage and put it on YouTube.
So I'll just reel off the list quickly. I've got on here, get sunglasses.
Yep.
That's the Adam thing. I've got go off site for a meal. Look for Download 2008 locations. Have a look at the different types of camping. So go around to look at the other types of campsites.
Yeah.
And now I've got to go on the big wheel as well. So
yeah,
this list is just growing.
Yeah, we're going to look at the group camping, weren't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just in general, because there are loads of sort of bits of camping that we never really walk around and look at, do we? We never go, let's just go and have a look and see what the crack is there. Because then the next year we're like, I don't even know what that was. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like now that we are, I don't know. We were doing stuff there last year on the courtyard stage, but now because of the podcast, it feels like I've got no time. I used to walk around all the time, everywhere, looking at stuff. And the last few years have just flown by, and I haven't really it feels like I haven't had a chance to do that. And it's weird. I don't know why. because it's not
Yeah,
like we're busy all the time. I would
agree.
actually hate to be booking in, going to do interviews and everything as well as what we're doing.
How would you even keep on top of that? I've got no idea.
Yeah, it'd be horrible.
Yeah, it would take up a lot of the time, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely. It'd be a very different download if you had to do all that stuff as well.
Yeah,
It'd feel
just
too much like work, I think.
yeah.
and the time as well. I think the time flies by enough as it is, which sucks. But I think it would absolutely disappear if you were doing stuff like that, because the days would just like a work day. It would just gone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes that Wednesday of us just sitting there, the day feels really long because we're basically sitting there doing fuck all for the entire day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that.
Awesome. Is there anything else you can think of, either of you, to do with the arena or bands?
I've got one more, and it's poncho. Ponchos are like such an incredibly good thing to have. I'd stay away from the disposable ones because they never last and they rip in no time, and you end up just getting soaked. So spending a bit more money on a better one, like a PVC, I think would be like the plastic of the better ones. I've got one that I bought from Download in 2015 maybe, and it's still all good. So have a look online, look for one that like people would use when they're fishing, or look for like a hiking poncho. I'm probably talking like £15, because if you just buy the ones from Download, they're like £2. They'll last half an hour or whatever. Someone will walk past you, it will get snagged, and there'll be a massive hole ripped in it, and it'll just be pointless. So spend a bit more money and just get one that you can fold down enough that you can just fit in your pocket or your bum bag as well.
Yeah, I expect a lot of them have got a little toggle on them. You can just attach it to your belt, the belt loop or something as well. They are for that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a good shout.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Kelly's got one of those that she bought Download probably 2017 or 2018, and yeah, it looks amazing and really comfortable. And we always confuse it with our sleeping bags because it's in its own little bag and it's quite big.
So it starts raining, and then you're out there in the arena and you pull out a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I never had anything like that. I'm pretty rubbish. I don't have a airbed unless Kelly's with me. Don't have a poncho. I didn't take wellies last year. We need to talk about wellies in a minute.
Oh my god.
I'm very basic. Old man, doesn't want to learn new things. Basically
Dislikes comfort.
yeah. Doesn't want to be comfortable at a
Basically,
festival
that's what you're saying.
any length of time.
Yeah, stuck in my ways. But wellies is another. Oh no, sorry. Before going to wellies, did you talk about? I can't remember if you talked about a water bottle when you went through your list of stuff you to make sure you take with you.
Into the arena, you definitely should.
Yeah.
You got a fancy one, didn't you, Si? Was it like a collapsible one? Was it you?
No, I didn't have a collapsible one. No, it weren't me.
Well, you can get these ones. It's got a carabiner on it that attached to the lid, and it collapses like a, what are them things called with the keys on it?
Accordion.
Accordion. It looks like an accordion. So it's like a tiny little thing that just clips onto your boot belt loop or whatever, and then it's a full water bottle. Definitely should have it because obviously there's so many water points in the arena.
Yeah.
And you definitely should stay hydrated. So yeah, water bottles for sure. One to put on the list.
I agree.
Yeah, excellent. I just didn't want to be repeating if you had said it, but yeah, you need it. Even if it's not sunny, you need water anyway.
I'm adding one to my Amazon basket as we speak because I'll forget that.
Nice. Yeah, there's loads of water points around. Water is free everywhere. Not everywhere, not from the stalls, but yeah, there's loads of water points. The queues, if there's a queue, it'll go down pretty quickly normally.
Yeah, the water points didn't come in for me that handy last year, but 2023 when it was hot.
Yeah,
so handy, literally. Really, really handy if you're thirsty, definitely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Collapsible water bottle, £9.49 on Amazon.
Nice.
There you go.
Probably be decent quality as well, I would have thought.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So you're not allowed to actually take it in if it's full. What they might do if it's still sealed, then maybe. But I don't know. But yeah, you take it in empty, and you can fill it up when you're in there. Everything will be fine. Okay. Is that everything? Have we got any more we want to talk about? Any have we missed? There's probably absolutely loads we've missed.
That's the extent of. I mean, I've got first aid kit, but we've been over camping essentials now, haven't we? So
yeah, food.
Wouldn't really want to go back to it. So short of that, probably not. No.
Okay. Well, a lot of people say it. I don't think we've actually talked on it specifically, but as wellies, be prepared for all weathers, basically. And you're going to
keep them in the car. That's what I do. Even if it starts off as a hot festival, could be a Download 2016 situation where the first 2 days are beautiful, and then all of a sudden you're going to have the worst weather you've ever had at the, you know what I mean? Just come out of nowhere. So keep them in the car, because you can always go back to the car if you need to. If you don't need to use them at all, then it's been a good download. So don't worry about it. But bring them.
Yeah.
Don't be like Adam, basically. Don't be like Adam. Always have wellies as a backup, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? I to begin with, I never knew wellies were used for grip as well, not just keeping your feet dry. When the first pair of wellies I had when I took the download with me, I was like, these are gripping amazingly. They're really, really good. So yeah, it's really good.
That's what they're made for.
Yeah, I just assumed it was so you could walk through dirty mud or streams or whatever to keep your feet dry. But yeah, if you've already got wellies, great. I don't actually have any wellies at the minute, so I'm going to have to go and buy some. I have heard, and I don't think it was on one of the download sites, that Aldi's have got a good pair, or a good pair for like 25 quid.
Yeah, possibly.
This was a few weeks back, so they might not have them anymore. That changes all the time. But yeah, I'm probably going to try in there. I think my last pair actually I got from Matalan, and they were still quite good. They were really comfortable. I could walk around in them all weekend. So I'm going to try one of those too. I'm not sure which one yet, but I definitely am going to get some wellies before down.
I'm due a new pair. I think I'm due an upgrade. I think my ones are the ones that I bought. Might be 16 or 19. I can't remember, but I've had them for a bloody long time, so they're getting a bit. So I'm due an upgrade. I think this year I'm going to get a nice pair of black ones. The ones I've got a proper farmer green. So I think I'm going to get a couple of proper metal ones that blend in with my outfit.
I just got mine off Vinted. Personally, I was due yourself a new pair. When I'm Vinted, managed to get a pair of Hunters low leg ones for like 30 quid.
Fucking great idea, dude.
Brand new as well. And
I'll
obviously, if it's a reputable brand, manufacturer, or whatever, you know that they're going to have good soles on them, which, as I'd say, is important. So yeah, check out Vinted, because there's someone out there that's selling a good pair of wellies, and you're someone who needs them. So
a good shout.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
And just consider, because last year I really struggled with it rubbing on my calves. It's a good idea to either wear long trousers with them or get yourself some welly socks, which kind of tuck over the top of the wellies to stop the rubbing. I ended up in the medical tent last year because of it rubbing and blistering the side of my legs. So please don't make the same mistake I did, because it was painful and it wasn't comfortable at all. And I ended up going into the Parkway Drive secret set, just like with ripped up legs. So yeah, wellies, but welly socks as well.
Yeah, great. And that is a great point to point out that I know at least a couple of people said that in the Discord as well, because you put the question in there, didn't you? So we're going to read all of those out in a little bit. I'm going to read everything else out we got on the social medias. Did we get anything I think we got a couple of things as follow-ups from last episode as well, so we'll read them in a little bit as well. Before we do all of that, is there anything else? I know I've asked this a few times, but is there anything any of you can think of that we didn't touch on?
Not off the top of my head, but there'll be stuff that we talk about probably on the lead up to download as well, won't there? Stuff that we remember.
Yeah.
But I suppose if someone was to listen to these 2 episodes, it would probably point them in the right direction with all the main sort of stuff that they need, and then some little tips and hints that we've given. Yeah. Obviously, when you're looking into all the sort of stuff that we've talked about, you'll probably find stuff that you will require that we haven't talked about. But camping really does depend on what sort of person you are. Like you just said, Ad, you're a very sort of minimalist person. And I'd say that me and Stu are on the other side. I'd say Stu's probably even more.
We've got like a spectrum going on, ain't we?
Yeah, like I'm quite far up, but
it's like the evolution of man.
Adam into me, into you.
Excellent. We're back on that Neanderthal thing again, aren't we? Find the missing link.
So it does depend, but I do think over these 2 episodes we've definitely highlighted a lot of things and probably given people some tips, especially if you're a new listener, or it's your first year going to the festival, or if you've just let your camping game slip. We've probably given quite a few people a little nods in the right direction for stuff, and even us. Like Stu's made me thought of stuff that I haven't thought of. Same with you, same with me. Yeah. So the sort of triangle of us has actually made me put a few things on my list. So even I've benefited from us making this episode. So hopefully everyone else will benefit from actually listening to it.
Yeah, excellent. Very nicely put. And like you said, there's going to be loads of stuff that we'll bring up again in the future. We probably won't go, oh, right, okay, here's a list of things we didn't say. But generally, we just go off and talk about random stuff. So it will come up. If you just keep listening, if you're new here, because of these 2 episodes, stick around, because we do some good stuff, and we'll talk about all sorts of things like that you might have missed. Also, on that point, I just want to say as well, but we also have been throwing around the idea of doing a live stream for charity at some point before download as well, so we can make part of that about packing and what to take and everything as well.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely room for that in there, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Well, we're going to go into I think one last thing before we go into what the listeners have sent to us. Question for both of you: what is your biggest tip for not streamers? I just said streamers. Your biggest tip for vloggers, as there's half the people that download are vlogging these days. What's the best tip you can give them apart from "Don't step on my shoes, you bastard"?
Leave your phones at home. Live in the moment.
I was just going to say, don't do it. Just don't do it. Just enjoy your time. No one gives a fuck about your video, so don't bother.
Excellent. I was not expecting that, but yes, cool, good stuff. We're gonna read some do's and some don'ts from the other social medias and from the Discord as well. A lot of people wrote to us in there. We got one from Daniel Gilbert. Do bring spare changes of clothes in waterproof bags. Yeah, we said that. Don't camp right near a fence unless your idea of a great festival aesthetic is a constant conga line of blokes pissing for 5 days in a row. Good one. Nicely worded. They do actually clamp down on that. Sometimes it depends where you are. But the last couple of years where we've been in blue, they've not been very happy with the people doing that on the fence there. And I even caught a guy, a security guard, taking a picture of somebody's wristband, the number on it, because he caught him having a piss on the fence.
Yeah, they don't like it, do they?
Yeah, no. One from Roxanne Toon. Take something comfy to sleep on, whether it's an airbed, a camp bed, or even just one of those self-inflating mattresses. You may think, I'll be all right on the floor, but after that first night, you'll be hauling your ass to Fat Frank or something, because your hips feel displaced.
Good one.
The next one is from Mike Hayward, who is from the Lowdown podcast. Don't camp near the toilets. Someone in Red Camp in 2019 had literally shat down the side of someone's tent. And do say... and do say hello to people camping next to you and offer a beer or a chair for a chat if they would like to say hello back. And I think that's quite a good one. I don't do that enough anymore. I've said on here before, we were sort of taken under somebody's wing in 2019. Me and Jacob's there. And they were like, come under our gazebo. And we spent the whole weekend with them. And we've stayed good friends with them since. But yeah, I don't think I've just gone wandering around the tents since, or talking to
It's
the people
kind
near
of
us.
different now, though, because we
It
go
is.
in bigger group of people. When you're a couple of people, it's much easier to sort of blend in and talk to people around you.
Yeah.
When we go in bigger groups like we do now, it's much harder for people to get involved in our group and for us to get involved with them because there's already so
Yeah.
many people that we're already talking to. That's probably
Mhm.
why. It's not your fault. It's just because we're going with more people.
Yeah, true. Cool. And the last one from Facebook. Should I say that? The next one is from Michaela Louise. Don't think that you don't need to apply sun lotion. It's not big, it's not brave, and it's not clever. And that's the one I said about last episode, and I said about you are not harder than the sun. You are not.
Yeah.
No,
Nobody is.
no, totally agree with that.
Yeah. So, sun cream. Take it, even if it's not going to be great weather. Take it with you. It'll always be good to have it. Okay, and onto the Discord. We have a huge list of things from James, actually. Buy a rain cover for your backpack. They're cheap as hell, and if you set up in the rain, it'll keep your stuff dry. Buy dry bags.
Nice.
I almost read that as drugs. Dry bags.
Buy lots
Buy
of drugs,
drugs.
kids.
Buy dry bags for your clothes. Keep said clothes in the dry bag. If your tent floods, your clothes will at least stay dry. It'll be floating on top of the water like in Finding Nemo, probably. Practice putting up the tent before you go. That's a good one. Bring a mallet for tent pegs. The ground can be rock hard, and it's a great way to meet new people lending it out. Yes, Simon. Bring bin bags. You can put rubbish in them, but they also make great emergency ponchos, and you can chuck your dirty clothes in them. Invest in some decent, comfortable walking shoes or boots and wear them in before you go. If you go for wellies, buy welly socks and make sure they don't rub. Bring a pillowcase and order pillows from Fat Frank's. There are a few discount codes if you pre-order. What's the best one to use?
I don't know. I haven't heard of any.
Right. That was your only chance. Inflatable camping pillows, absolutely.
Hold on.
Yeah.
SMTV 10% off.
Bring spare tent pegs. They are available in Poundland and worth the investment. I did not know you could get them in Poundland, but definitely worth it. And go to the Deer Download meetup. Everybody is absolutely amazing, and you'll meet some cool and interesting new people. Thank you, James. That's
There you go.
really good
That's
one.
a great tip. Yeah, nice one,
Yeah.
dude. Nice
Bin
one.
bags for sure. Like, look after your campsite. Don't live like rats.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's one thing I've changed on. I don't do that anymore. I don't go and rip out the bin bags because I liked living with the rubbish. Oh, I've done that before.
like
I was a
sleeping with
dick.
the rubbish.
It was the rubbish pile. You see it get bigger and bigger and bigger as the weekend goes, and you're like, this is cool, but it's not cool. It's not cool.
It's not.
You're not big. You're not
cool.
clever.
No.
No.
Past Adam. Another one. Next one from Chris. Last year, myself and my friend invested in a pair of waterproof socks. Quite possibly the best £20 I've ever spent. I wore mine with a pair of wellies, and my friend wore his with a pair of walking boots, and both of us managed bone dry feet all weekend. There was a bit of discussion about these in the Discord. I'd never even heard of them before. I didn't know you get waterproof socks.
I'd never heard of waterproof socks.
No. But Chris did actually share which ones he got, because some other people said, they weren't very good. I guess it depends on the brand and how much you spend and everything. Stuart's been posting a few bits in there as we've been talking, actually, but there's a Festival Essentials tab in our Discord. So if you're not in our Discord already, come and join it. You can find the link to it in our Linktree, which is in the episode description of wherever you're listening to this episode. So yeah, come and join in. Come and join the Discord, and there'll be so many lists and everything. People post lists all the time when it's coming to festival season. There's always going to be something you forget. I mean, usually you can buy it there, but yeah, the Festival Essentials tab is really, really handy.
Yeah. Like, for yourself to find something that you didn't think of, but then likewise, if you see something on Amazon, if you go outdoors or whatever, or you just see a deal anywhere, just post it in there, because I'm sure there'll be someone who's grateful for a little hack, a little bargain.
Yeah, I think it's time to end the episode there as well. I think we could sit here for hours racking our brains trying to think of extra stuff, and we will end up thinking of extra stuff. But for now, I think we're going to have to go. Happy with that?
Yes.
I have a bit of news as well. I know at this point, last episode, I had news, and it was about the T-shirts. This is also about the T-shirts for the Patreons who supported us the most in 2024. The T-shirt aptly named Podfest 24 is on its way to me now. I got the email today saying it's been dispatched. They will be with me within the next few days, definitely, and I cannot wait to see them. I definitely will get them out to you guys as soon as I can. And on the note of the Patreons, we've got to say a huge thank you to our Patreons. I don't know why this is started listing them in reverse order, but it has, so I'm going to carry on reading them in reverse order. So, thank you to Joe Butler, Marty Ellis, Mike Ferris, Andy T2, Liam Hopwood, Tom West, How Does Corn Make Their Music? They Play It By Ear, Ethan Brown, Matthew, Chris Henderson, Scoot, Ben Sacconi, Johnny Bravo, Chris Hambridge, Sean Schofield, H from Steps for Download, and James. You guys are all massive legends. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate every penny we get, and every penny we get goes back into the podcast. Stu, thank you again for joining us for this episode.
But thank you so much for having me back on. It's a pleasure, and I love doing these kind of things. I'm a proper festival nerd, so if I can help someone enjoy the festival a bit more, it's more than a pleasure to do so. Yeah.
Do you want to plug anything and everything you're doing at this current minute? Not minute, current time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, main thing at the moment is Instagram and TikTok. I'm doing 100 days of download. Brand new download festival video every single day for 100 days in a row. Final video landing us on the Wednesday of download. And it's essentially like bite-sized versions of what we've done here for the past 2 episodes. Just introducing you to the festival, going through everything to do with it, District X, the stages, the arena. And then later down the line, when we get a bit closer, give you little hints and tips, little festival hacks. And then, of course, if Download release anything, news, lineup announcements, other than them, I'll be the second person to let you know that information. So, yeah, I'd appreciate anyone that comes and follows. Be great to have you.
Awesome. Simon?
Yeah, loads of stuff going on. Obviously, YouTube stuff. I'm currently writing loads of scripts and doing loads of videos, so loads of fun stuff to come. Like I said, I've got everything planned out for the year, so I know what I'm doing and when. It's just a fact of actually doing it. And like I said, we're working on the final stages now of a band release. So finally, there should be an Ashes by Dawn double single coming out at some point. It'll be a metal track and an acoustic track. So yeah, hopefully that will come out. I hope before Download, which would be good. I don't know about plans to do a music video or anything like that. It might not come for this one. That might come for the next one. This one's just to give people a little taste of what we can do. And I'm sure things will just keep on getting better and better. But yeah, that's it really. There's nothing much else happening. But yeah.
Cool. Well, you can find links to all of everybody's stuff in the description of wherever you are listening to this podcast. And so it's a big time for us now. Next episode is the start of our countdown to download episodes. So we are going to be listening to every single band who's playing on the Friday, and we're going to be talking about them in the next episode. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. It always feels like quite a task, but once we start listening to them, it kind of just flows, doesn't it? And we can get to hear the caliber of... this is, as we've discussed, a very different download to the last couple of years. So I feel like even the bands that we're going to listen to are going to be quite different to the stuff that we've heard before. So I think that actually, excuse me, this should be quite an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking forward to listening to all the bands. So if you're new here for these episodes, then stick around. We've got some really good episodes coming up. If you're old here, thank you for being old. But if you're not in the Discord, come and join the Discord. We've got stuff going on in there all the time. It's really, really good. And this is exciting times. The countdown to download has begun. I want to say it has begun. Yeah, that's it. It begins now. All right. But so for this episode, we've got to go. It's a goodbye from Simon.
Oh, goodbye.
A goodbye from Stu.
Toodaloo.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.